thanks for making it my channel. This is Safa's Creative Media Concepts, and this is where we create stories to inspire your lives. So today, we're listing 5 tips to help you tell better stories. And I could not put these tips together without my good friend Kyesha. If you want to understand how these tips work together, please stick around until the end. Kyesha.
Present!
How are you?
I'm good, Safa. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm all good, all good.
Nice.
So I just want you to just let our viewers understand who are you, what you do.
Okay. Very simple. I'm a very simple girl. I am Kyesha Randall, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen 2016.
Wow.
Yes, and I am a writer. I love to write. I write poetry. What I'm most popular known for is for my sketch writing on Facebook for Taxi Chronicles and just everyday experiences in my life and the way that I tell them. So thank you, Safa, for recognizing and for also bringing me here today to share with your subscribers.
I really appreciate you taking your time out and helping me sharing tips with people that are in our community, because as I always tell you that if I learn something, I'm just eager to share with you guys to make you become a better filmmaker. Something you did not know about her. She knows how to catwalk. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so I just want to give you a brief description about what a story is. So a story is just basically a group of creative words that put together to speak about an event that took place, or a script that is telling about something that is about to happen. We all tell stories every day. Just you telling your friend about your day, that's simple telling a story.
Storytelling is an art, but it doesn't mean that because you are not innately a storyteller or a story writer that you cannot develop the skill, which is why we're here today to give you those 5 tips. In storytelling, everything has to come alive. It has to have life. You have to give life to the inanimate. So we have to know what color were the leaves, and where was the sun shining, and how was it shining, and how did it hit your skin. So when you're talking about storytelling and story writing, think about everything working together to create one fabulous story.
So these are some guidelines that we think that you should follow when telling your stories. And there's no right or wrong way to tell a story. You have your own unique way, but if you follow these guidelines, you can tell your story in a better way. So Kyesha, what do you think about this place?
I love it. Like, you know, I'm a cultural person, so I love that in this space it's so quiet, but there are still so many stories here, so many untold stories.
This place usually be like where there is cows and stuff like that.
There's evidence of that.
Oh, a lot. So, but it's very rich in manure. So if you want to plant some stuff and you want to make sure that they will grow and be fruitful, you can come around here and grow some stuff. What do you think? So Kyesha, before we really get into this video, we're going to list all the 5 tips. What do you think we should do?
I think we should show them what we're seeing.
Alright, so I'm going to show you some epic B-roll of this place. Please stick around.
For storytelling and for story writing, if you are thinking of becoming better at your craft, becoming a better story writer, or just trying it out in general, the first thing that you have to do is find other people's work to dissect so that you can understand storytelling structure. Get why is it that they are writing the way that they're writing? Why are they choosing to tell the story in this particular way? Why did they choose these characters? Why did they choose this plot? It's very important that you are able to do the research and do the work. Identify what your taste may be as a storyteller and in storytelling. And sometimes in doing the research, you find what your writing style is like. So it's very important as a storyteller that the first thing you observe is looking at other people's work and just pulling it apart to find the different elements that help to make up the stories that you love and admire so much. And it can be a storyteller or a film writer or a filmmaker, just anybody that has their hands in writing a script or writing for storytelling. Find their work, maybe somebody that you enjoy, and pull it apart. Pull it apart. Tip number 2, write about what you know. There is no way in the world you can tell a story of something that you do not know. Have you ever seen those news reports on TV when somebody's trying to give a report of what happened, but they keep saying, me no know, because you really cannot tell a story if you don't know what is happening in the story. It's very important that you write about the things that are closest to you and to your heart and things that you know about, and it will take a few research to help to bring the story to life. You can't be writing about love if you know that you're not in love and you don't confine to the institution of love and marriage and what it stands for. Likewise, you can't write about the law if you really don't have an interest. So you have to write about what interests you, what are you passionate about, what do you really have an opinion about, know about, can dissect and do all the things that you need to do to make a good story come to life. Write about what you know. So the next tip I'm sharing with you about writing or storytelling and story writing is finding your narrative. It's very important before you begin to delve into the bulk of your storytelling and your story writing that you know who your characters are. You know what your plot is, which is most important. How are you going to start? What's going to happen in the middle? How are you going to end? But it's also very important that your characters are people that you have given a backstory. You know what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what makes them angry. When you know who your characters are, when you can identify the shape or the direction of your plot and how your story will flow, then it becomes a lot easier for you to write and to tell the story and to delve in and out because you know who your characters are and what they are capable of. So the next tip for storytelling that I practice is exploring my imagination. So that's my tip for you. Explore your imagination. It's the best tool that you have. Not your pen, not your paper, but what's up here. How do you see the story? How do you see your characters developing? Which direction do you see them going in? How are you going to do plot twists? Like, how are you going to surprise your audience, basically? It's like comedy. Deliver the punchlines, and how are you going to do that? What's your build-up going to be like? So it's very important that you not put your characters in a box. Whenever you're writing or telling a story, it's so important to allow them to become who they are up here. How you see them might not necessarily be how they develop once you start to put pen to paper. Remember that. So don't put your characters in a box. Don't put your story in a box. Not really. Allow your imagination to run wild. This is the time to do it. You have a pen and a paper or a pencil and a paper and a rubber in front of you to erase. Maybe the way that you thought your character was developing may not be the way that they're actually going to develop in the end. So explore your imagination and allow your imagination the free will that it should have when you're telling a story or even when you're writing one. So this one is my absolute favorite. It's tip number 5. And if you have not done any of the other tips, or don't remember them, please don't forget this one. Wait, let me sit up. Hold your audience's attention. Hold them attention. It is imperative that you carry them along the journey of your writing, along the journey of your story. Let them follow you. Let them grow with your characters. Never let them cop out, change the channel, or close the book. You have to find out what's gonna get your audience listening or keep listening, what's gonna get them watching next week, what's gonna get them reading again tomorrow. And this all comes with the first 4 that we told you. How do you hold your audience's attention? Well, the first thing is to remember all the 4 things that we told you up top. Dissect other people's work. Do the research. The other thing, write about what you know. Don't try to write about other people's stories if you don't know the story or if you don't plan to develop the story the way that it should. Write about what you know. Third, find your narrative, your plot, and your characters. Find out who they are, the direction that the story is going to go in. And then 4, explore your imagination. And that takes you back to holding your audience's attention. Once you have observed all of these coming down to holding their attention, then you'll be able to do that. Remember, it's very important that people grow with your characters and that they follow your story and that you keep them on their toes. Elements of surprises, plot twists, development of characters. They must be real people who face real problems. This is my absolute favorite. I love writers who can hold my attention and leave me with cliffhangers that I just want to come back tomorrow and be like, where is the story gonna go? So, let me control my excitement and impart some knowledge, right? If you don't remember anything else, remember to hold your audience's attention. And that's all my 5 tips for you today. So you've just heard all my 5 tips for being a great storyteller or a great story writer. However, we have some brought up for you and you have to stay for these. Safel has 3 amazing tips if you want to be able to transfer all of what I just told you to the screen, whether it be for short film or a feature film. So let me just shut up because Safel's gonna do this part. Stay.
Hey, where you going? Come back here. All right. I'm right here. All right. Thank you, Kyesha. All right. So it's my turn to let you know these 3 tips, how you can really intertwine all those 5 tips that Kyesha just told you about. So these 3 tips gonna allow you to build a short film or a feature movie so you can put it on screen. All right. The first tip up is camera movements. And camera movements is a technique, is an act that pulls your audience deeper into the narrative and also make your story more effective. So the second tip, what I want to talk to you about is music, instrumental, and sound effects. All these 3 things can make your film and also break your film, because I look at these 3 tools as a very powerful means of communicating to your audience to let them feel how you want them to feel. Because you can use all these things to really tell them that something is about to happen, and they can know that something is about to happen before it happens. So you really set that mood. And these tips are great tips to really set your mood in your story. So go out there, go on YouTube, try to watch all these videos that talk about music, instrumentals, sound effect, and how to use them in the best effective way that you can. All right, so moving on to our 3rd tip, which is the last step for today. So I'm gonna speak about color grading. I can't be more excited about color grading because that's one of my favorite techniques in filming, in telling my story. The color of your film really set that mood, and it really intertwines with using music, sound effects, and everything. So everything really works together. You have to know your color grade before you even film your movie. Come up with that concept, those complementary colors that's going to complement each other to really set that mood. A very popular color grade is teal and orange that we use among most of these Hollywood films that we do today. And if you're doing like a horror movie, then you're going to want to do like some greenish or some bluish looking fade out film. But there's a lot of videos on YouTube where you can go and really edify yourself about color grading, because color grading is going to make your film stand out from everything else. And that's it for today. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button if that's something you're into. Subscribe if you haven't, and click that notification bell so you won't miss on the next one. Until next time, peace out.